Lying back, hello. We're matching again, Jean. Curl up and down. We're going to feel like the low back is getting our attention. You're breathing into your nose and you're going up and down about 10 times here, or as long as it takes to get your back warmed up. And up. Welcome, everybody. And if everything's going well, let's add a leg pointing to the sky and go up and down with one leg on the floor and one leg pointed towards the sky. And then take the other foot down and the other leg up and point the toes to the sky and take 10. Now switch that foot and take the other leg up and we'll add some pulls. So we're going to wake up our mobility now. You're pointing up and then you're flexing down while you're maintaining hips level. Hello. Starting off with bridges, Michelle. There's that leg getting warmer, and then we're going to take that foot down and switch the leg. So you're doing 10 leg pulls on each leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. All right, that foot comes down, lower, and just for a moment, let's take a stretch, happy baby. We're going to go back into hamstrings, but add a rock here. We're just going to make sure we're waking up, giving some release of tension, and then let the feet come down, but a little further. So about 1 foot further than they were. Now your heels can push into the floor. Your toes don't need to be on the floor for this more open knee position on the bridge. You're going up and down 10 times, and the legs can touch each other. Up. And then you're going to be holding a set high for 10. So hold this up for 10. Now lower down and take the feet out one more leg length so they're longer away from you. The knees are longer, and go up and down 10 times. So you just feel the hamstrings differently. Up, up, up. Feel both sides of your hips the same, lift the same height, and then try to hold it up for 10. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lower down, and then take your hands between your knees. Hold on to your feet or your ankles and bound angle. You can even add a rock here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then let the left leg go really long and take the right leg up. Now the top leg is going to go 8 circles while your ribs stay down. You want to feel like you're getting that hip mobile and your abs are active. And then you're going to go the other way about 8 times. 8, good. And the neck is soft, the jaw is soft. Feel that hip circulating, getting mobilization. Now, when that's done, hang on to that same leg, point and flex, and add a few ankle movements and rolls and toe spreads. The leg is up and a little stretch. You're pointing and flexing. Now bend that same knee up and down, just a few leg presses, 5. Help warming up the joints. And leave it up for a moment, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then take that leg down, take the other leg up. Your hands can frame your hips and draw some circles, about 8 each way. Keep the ribs down with your abdominals and go the other way. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Try to feel mobility, keeping the hips lubricated, flexible, and then we're going to be keeping that leg in the air, and you can hold on to that leg with your hands behind the thigh and point and flex, and you could add ankle movements like a circle and a circle, toe spreads, get that ankle really warmed up, And then you bend the knee and straighten the knee, and you bend the knee and straighten the knee. You're kind of pumping that hamstring here. And then hold it up there. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and then both legs come up. Now you're going to place the hands beside your hips. Draw a circle one way. This is corkscrew modified. And then at 12 o'clock, go the other direction. So you could say clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And if you want to add a little hip lift, you can. At that 12 o'clock position, we're going to take 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hug the legs. Now you can just rock a little bit here. Oh, let me move that microphone wire. And then we're going to take one called a partner drill. So your legs will go up on this. Pretend I'm right beside you, facing you, and we have to clear each other's legs. So you're going to lower to the left a little bit, and then you're going to lower towards the right a little bit. And you could go all the way down if you feel like you can keep your ribs down. Your abs are working. If you need to modify, just go down as low as you feel like is a comfortable challenge. Shoulders down. Take 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then take a hand per knee, real soft. Just stir the knees, stir the thighs. Big range of motion. Go the other way. Yep. Nice. And then we're going to add on a double crunch. Now you can do a bridge if you need another modification, or you could do just the upper or just the lower half. But if you'd like to take the double crunch, your shoulder blades come up and your hips come up. Up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice. And then take a hug, let the thighs come into your belly. The hands are going to come underneath your thighs, and you're going to kick or pop up, and then just take a sip. Good job. Did a little series on the supine. We'll do a little series prone. Belly down. And the belly down has a little bit of an ab lift, so you're not just sagging in the low back. And then take your hands beside your hips. We'll lift your torso. Now lift the toes. Now while you're up in the air, your arms are going to lift higher than you. So take 10 arm lifts in the I position. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. 8. You got it. 9. Now the arms go like a letter T. And your modification would just be do the previous arm lift position. Otherwise, 5 more here. 4, 3, 2. And then the third position is up like a Y, 10 lifts. 2, 3. Your arms are doing the lifting. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the arms are a pillow or a rest for your head. You're going to lift up both legs and flutter them. So now we're doing the bottom half, which is hamstrings and glutes. You're going to flutter your legs. You should feel your hamstrings and glutes. And then take a bigger flutter if you can. Yep. And then you're going to add taps. So your feet tap towards each other while the knees are off the floor. The toes are off the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then a child's pose from here. Press back, and you can even add your toes curling under. Rest your toes under so you get a foot stretch. And then go back down. We're doing the belly down prone. A series here. The inhale, the hands are beside your hips. You're going to lift up and just try to hover. 10, 2, 3, 4, you'll move a little bit naturally. 5, 6, good. 7, 8, 9, and then recover. And then if you can take the hands at the lower spine, interlace them or rest one on the other. Another set of 10. Lift up, 10. If your shoulders are flexible enough, push your palms towards each other. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now lower, and then the third set is here, hands near your shoulders. Inhale, lift up, press your hands into the floor. All right, hold. 1, 2, good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, child pose. Nice job. Press back, stretch out your low back. You can even push your hands to your back where you're taking a little tricep stretch to add on. And then take a little cat-cow here, and a couple options are hands on the floor, underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Flex the spine, this is spinal articulation, and inhale, extend the spine. And if you're feeling like you're tight in your back, you might just stay here, do a little bit more. This is a great exercise for the back. And if you would like to add on, you could lift up your knees and then do the beast. And if you would like to add on still, go into the down dog. Lift your heels, articulate your lower spine, middle back, upper back. And then tuck, upper back, middle back, lower back. Press the calves down. You can see if they're tight or if they need that attention. Calves can usually stand to be stretched every day. We use them a lot. And then down and up. Inhale, let your breath travel through your spine. Tuck. 2 more. In, lift. Inhale. And exhale. And then 1 more. Go up. Inhale. And exhale. And then take a little breather here, a child's pose, take a sip. Good job. Nice. We'll touch base with the opposite arm, opposite leg reach. So if you can lift up your toes for this one, do, but if you need a modification, leave them down. Right arm, left leg, try to balance and really stretch out your leg. And then do the other side, left arm, right leg. This is great for the back as well. Right arm, left leg, a little balance work too, left arm, right leg. Your head is withdrawn so it's not falling to the ground, so we can keep those muscles strong that prevent forward head, but really lengthen your back knee. You see how it doesn't want to lengthen? You want to lengthen it. All right, 4 more, 3 more. Good, make sure you're even. So I'm going to do 2 more, 1 more. And then leave your toes down on this one, and you can pick up 1 foot and push it to the sky for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then lower that foot and take your other one, hand to foot, and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice job. Take that, grab a sip if you'd like, and we'll touch base with a little bit of the planking here. And if you need a modification from planking, opposite arm, opposite leg is great. But if you can take the planking, start off with your toes and your forearms, and hold 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. 7, 8, belly's pulling in. 9, 10, 11, energize your knees, 12, 13, 14. So this is helping the back muscles as well because the abdominals are contracted, the transverse, so it makes the multifidus co-contract. Take 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. Now we're going to take a counter pose. This is Sphinx with your forearms on the mat, and then if you can press yourself up higher, shoulder blades down the back, elbows point towards the floor. Good, Polly, that looks great. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, good. And you notice there's a lift in your abs. You're not just hanging out in the lower back. There's some abdominal tone. All right, now we're gonna go back to front plank, but we're adding an isometric. So curl your toes, press up. Now, you won't see anything move, but the cue is pull your elbows towards your feet and your feet towards your elbows. So this is more isometric. You should have felt your abs turn on about 10% more. So your head's withdrawn, you're in line with the shoulder, hold 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, let the pelvis drop. So the forearms can be on the mat or you can push up into swan. Those isometrics is an inside job. You don't really see much happening different on the outside, but you feel it more, maybe 10 to 15%. Hold 5, shoulders are down, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Now we're going to do another forearm plank here. So as always, your modification could be you're on your knees, but if you can, get on your toes, and if you can add on, lift your hips to dolphin, and then come back into plank. Lift your hips to dolphin, and then come back to plank. Lift your hips to dolphin. You should feel a calf stretch right there. Come back to plank, but not lower. You don't want your low back to sag. Lift your hips to dolphin. Come back to plank. That was 6. We're doing 10, or the best you can do. This is 7. Shoulder blades are down the back. Lift. 8. Modification would be on your knees. Inhale through your nose. 9. Exhale through your nose. 1 more. Lift. 10. And then rest your pelvis. This is Sphinx. And if you can add on, swan. Shoulders are down the back. This one's called swan because the neck is long. You want to make sure your shoulders aren't by your ears. You should feel like your neck is super long. There's a little lift in your abs. You're not death gripping your glutes. That'll jam the SI. So make sure you're not death gripping your glutes. There's a little tone, but you're not hard as a rock back there cracking walnuts. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go child's pose. Curl the toes under if you'd like an extra foot stretch. Walk those fingers over to the right. Your left pinky's far away from your hip, your left hip. This is going to be it's called one lung breathing. Breathe into that rib cage. You're stretching out your lat muscle, which is a big part of back care and highly responsible for internal shoulder rotation if it's too tight. So we're stretching out a muscle that can hurt our posture, hurt our back, hurt our shoulders. So we're stretching it out. Now we're going to walk our fingertips to the other side. Now your right pinky is far away from your right hip until you feel a stretch. Now breathe into that rib cage. You want to feel the intercostals between the ribs expand. You're keeping those muscles pliant so that when you do extra demand, it's easier to get the breath, which is energy. Feel your lat. Feel your QL, which is that muscle from your rib to your hip. It's a nemesis if you have back pain, so we're getting in that area. Breathe in, and then come on back. Hot dog, grab a sip. You did good. We try to shoot for 8 to 12 ounces at least during a class, so we're staying hydrated. Your muscles fire a little bit better when they're adequately hydrated. So we have a side plank series coming up. Your elbow is underneath your shoulders and your feet are stacked, or if you need a little easier, staggered. So come on up and hold your static. Side plank in yoga, this is Vasisthasana. There you go, the hip is lifted. 10, 2, good. I like to stretch out through the hands as well. 3, they do so much for us, so they're generally in flexion, so we're stretching them out. 5, 6, 7, feel the abs here. 9. Now lower by the hip, you're never going to collapse at the shoulder. Let's go to the other side. So you'll see I'm banking up my plank just because this bone feels so superficial, the ulna. So you want to make your bones comfortable so that you can give your attention to the muscles that you want to fire. Ready? Hold 10. Good. 2, 3, 4. Look how good everybody looks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. I really like the asymmetric work. Then you make sure that no side of your body's taken over, as would happen without our intervention. Good. A lot of times the dominant side is about 10% stronger. So what we do is asymmetric work to kind of make sure that doesn't happen on our watch. Now this one's going to be a little rotation. So come on up. And once you're here, anchor your hips forward. They're not moving, but your torso and your arm. So you could even take it back behind you for a shoulder stretch. Rotation. Inhale. We know rotation is really good for the back. It helps prevent rounded upper back. Breathe in, stretch, enjoy. 5. Inhale through your nose. 6. Atta girl. 7. Yep, I like it. 8. That's a good modification for your shoulder to have it down. 9. 10, and then inhale, lower that hip. You're doing great. Let's go to the other side. Make sure it's comfy on the bones, the joints. Come on up. Here we go. Exhale, thread the needle, keep the hips stable. So when you rotate the upper back, the torso, but you keep the hips stable, it's called differentiation or specification. So you're learning what muscles, we're learning what muscles to keep contracted and stable, and which ones we want as movers. And exhale, and inhale, and one more. Good, and then lower down when you're done with your 10th one or so. Let's grab a sip early, and then we'll get to the other side. So you can feel different parts of your core awaken. Now we're going to do a paint the sky. So stacked is harder than staggered. Choose which one. Come up, your shoulder blades down the back. Now the hand starts at the hip. Go up and over. Breathe in. Imagine your whole body's against a wall, so you're not poking the head forward. Good. Your hip is lifting, so you're strengthening your abductor, which is really important for back care. And 6. Good. Shoulder. 7. Good. Inhale. When you link breath with movement. 8. You help the parasympathetic system so much. Clear your mind. And 10. Very good, guys. Let's go to the other side. The spine likes to be moved in lateral flexion every day for healthy spine, rotation, extension, flexion. So all these things we're doing are good for the back. We're going to go up and over, and we're going to adjust our shirt. And 2. And notice the head in space. You want it against that imaginary wall. 4. Good. So we can help prevent forward head syndrome. 5, the head is back. 6, lift your hip. Breathe in. Exhale, 7. 8. 9. And then 10. You guys are doing so good. Grab a sip. We are going to do reverse plank next. So if that doesn't serve you, Karen, I think your hands, it bothers you, you could do a front plank, you can do a bound angle as a modification. Basically, you're using this time to do something good for yourself. Here's another modification of reverse plank, Purvottanasana. It's called reverse table. If you're doing okay with that, take your legs longer and press up and hold. 10, 2, 3. Good. Remember, you can do other moves if you want. 4, if you need a modification. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. And then lower your hips. And I know some of you have reached out about hands. So palms together, lower your palms. Now this is one stretch you can do for your hands. If you have hobbies that you're really intensive with the hands, you'll love this. So fingers down, shoulders down, lengthen the elbow. Pull these fingers under, long elbow. If you're doing this, just try to lengthen it. Good. Thumb and first finger together like the OK symbol. Flip your 3 fingers underneath your jaw and stretch out. This is an ulnar stretch too, that ulnar nerve. And go out. You got it. Behind you. Hi guys. And then there's one more. Palms on the floor. Lift up the thumb. Now just lift up the first finger. Now just lift up the middle finger. Now just lift up the third. Now just lift up the fifth, and then do that one more time. This is extensor. So this, if you do a lot of gripping, like I do, like gripping the gun or, you know, gripping gardening or a cast iron, this is a great one. So third finger, and I can notice right away my left third finger doesn't want to go up as much. Let's do one more time, but this helps balance the hands. The first finger comes up, the middle, the third, and the fourth. Now we'll just give ourselves a little carpal synovial fluid. It's like putting lotion on the joints. It's like putting lubrication on a machine. You're lubricating the joints. Shake it out. Now it's time for our dynaband. You guys did great. So grab a heavier dynaband and grab a sip. So I've got different kinds. So I have different levels. If you don't, you could also grab 2. Bye, Polly. Have a good day. And Floyd, girl. And then take your feet, that first half hour went fast, didn't it? And walk your hands down. Now pull the elbows to or past your ribs. So this is the row. I'm going to be changing my position so you can see me. You walk your hands low enough so that as soon as you start pulling your elbows, you've got tension. Exhale, good. And pull. So as soon as you start pulling, you should have some tension. It's a strong muscle group. We want to give it intense. We want to give it a challenge. And what I'm doing, you can't see, but I'm going to cue it verbally, is you want to spread out your toes so that your feet, in fact, I'll show you, you're getting some attention to your toes. They also do so much for us. I've got correct toes in right now, which helps create space. So anyway, you're spacing your toes if you can. That's good for balance, and it also helps absorb shock so your knees and your low back don't take all the shock that they weren't intended to take. Your feet can absorb it. There's little trampolines on your feet, the arches, that take up some of the shock from the ground. Pull. Hello, Lauren, come on in. Hi, Cole. And so we're doing back rows. Exhale. Good. So let's take 5 more. 4 more, 3 more. And if you feel like it's hard to sit on the floor with your back upright, just grab a pillow or a yoga block so you have hip slack. Now we're going to take a rotation. As we pull one arm, you're rotating. As you pull the other arm, you're rotating. And then try to focus, do you feel as flexible in rotation on one side as the other? Or does one side feel like it needs a little bit more of your focus? A lot of times we have one side that rotates a little easier. So at this point, we're trying to see if we can even it up. I rotate to the right a little bit easier, so I'm giving more attention to the left as an example. All right, take 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. And then let that go. Now we're going to take a stand, so have a band handy, but try also not to use your hands when you stand up. So I'm going to cross my feet and stand up with no hands on the thighs or on the floor. And then let's put that underneath the heel. We're going to do a bicep curl. So 1 or 2 heels. And you're going to be doing a bicep curl here, so carrying muscles. Good. I always like to think we're carrying some farmer produce or farmer berries or whatever. So these are your carrying muscles. You're tall, your shoulder blades are down the back. I like the elastic tubings for these because it's easier to keep your wrist neutral. But if you have the dynabands, hold it so your wrist is as comfortable as you can, neutral as you can. Good. Neck soft, knees soft. When you exhale, there's a little abdominal pull in, and that helps co-contract the multifidus of the back muscles, so it helps keep your back safe. Good. When you're standing, make sure your low back isn't lordotic. So for me, I have a little rib tuck with my abs that help me prevent the back from getting too curved. Try 3 more. Nice job. And then let that go, step out, and then we're gonna do actually grab a sip, and then we're gonna do a tricep press, so it's gonna be behind the head. One hand is behind your head like you're shaving your head. One hand's at the lower spine like an anchor. You're hanging on with one hand, the bottom hand. You're pushing up with the top. 2, 3, good. And anytime your arm's overhead, your low back is vulnerable to getting lordotic or arched, so you've got a little bit of ab tone. You're not death grouping the glutes though. Good. 7, 8, good. Your ribs are over your pelvis. You're making sure you're not leaning or poking the head forward. Good. Try to lengthen the elbow all the way if you can. That a girl. That was it. 15, 16, really lengthen. 17. You can't see what's going on up there, so you really want to try to feel that your elbow gets long. If it's too hard to lengthen your elbow, lighten your weight a little bit. All right, try the other side. This hand comes up. This hand comes down. All right, so we're going to go up and down 20 times. I can tell that's too easy, so I'm going to grab more band. That's the great thing about these bands. Easy to adjust. 4, good. 5, knees soft. 6, 7, 8, 9, pull the head back if you can. 10, yeah, jaw is parallel to the floor. 11, 12, you're looking straight ahead if you can. 13, 14, 15, 17, strong triceps. 18, it's a #1 predictor in hip fractures is a weak tricep, because if you don't have a strong tricep, you can't catch yourself, let that go, and then you can fall on a hip that's already got microarchitectural fracture. So we want strong triceps. All right, this time you're gonna stand on that band, go out. You'll need a band, so it might be that you change your weight and you go out like a letter T, almost like just ahead of your body. You got it. And 5 and 6. So if it's too heavy, just give yourself more slack. Good, your body's tall, nice. And notice how you're keeping the tone in your abs so that you don't wiggle. So it's working the abs in the back just a little bit, just to do an asymmetrical, it's called anti-rotational movement. 5, good. 6, body's tall. 17, 18, 19, you guys are doing great. 20, now we're gonna do the other side. You're gonna stand on that band and open and see if you can go to about shoulder height. Good. And then we'll add the breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. 16, good. And 17, abs have a little bit of tone. Good, you're tall. I like to think of a golden string attached to the crown, lifting me taller without effort. 2 more. And then we're going to switch that foot and we're going to do frontal raise. So this works the shoulders. You're doing great. Let the heel be on the band, and it's okay if you have to adjust in a minute. Go forward. Good. Go forward. See if you can get the band to about shoulder height. The wrist should feel sturdy. Good. 5. You want to make sure you're not turning your body, but you're square. Good. 7. A little bit of tone here. 8. 9. 10. 11. You're doing great. 12. Yeah, you'll see I put my hand here. Sometimes that just helps remind me to keep my abs just a little bit toned. Try 5 more so the ribs are over the pelvis. 4 more. 3 more. Good. Shoulders, anterior delts, 2. And 1 more, and then let's switch it up. Good job. Let that heel be heavy on the band. And then the first couple you might have to adjust. That's okay. Might do a little bit more. 2. 3, and then we add the breath in through the nose. 4, and out through the nose. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. I like it. Yep. 11. So you're not turning, you're forward. 12, 11, 13. Knees soft but long. 14. 15, 16, that's it. 17, you got it. 18, 19, terrific job. 20, grab a sip, you're doing great. You might need a slightly heavier band, maybe the same one, medium to medium heavy. Your band can go behind you, like you're trying to catch your scapula. So the scapula, the shoulder blades, and then you're holding on to your band. Now we're gonna do a couple things here. So let's do an out and then do an in, or a wide and then a narrow. And you're gonna try to lengthen the elbows. And if you wanna add on, we'll just do a little calf here where you lift the heels. You have a momentary balance. And each of your metatarsal heads has equal weight. Sometimes the pinky toe tries to take over, but it's not intended for weight bearing. And we want to keep our ankles really strong since 90% of brains are inverted. So you want to feel like all your toes have weight. Second toe might even feel like it has a tiny bit more. Good. And when you're pressing out, you don't have any tension in your jaw. Good. You're tall. Good. Now the last 10, we're going to go straight ahead. So 10, elbows lengthen. 9, 8, see if you can breathe through your nose the whole time, in and out. 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Good. And then 1 more. You got it. Nice job. So let's go down to the floor. The challenge is, you can grab a sip too, but the challenge is going to be don't let your hands touch your thighs. So I'm going to do it crisscross applesauce just to show one of the ways. Good. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a lighter band, medium. So let's say medium or medium light. Wrap the band around your feet and your low in your hands. So your arms are going to be beside your hips. You're exhaling, let me turn so you can see me. You're exhaling as you pull. And if you feel like your back's rounded on the floor and you just can't straighten up, the hips need a little bit of slack, so you can just sit on top of something, a yoga block or something that gives you a firm pillow. All right, or cushion. Exhale, exhale, good. You're doing great. Belly is pulling in, spine is tall. You can spread out those toes. I'm going to check these for a second. All right, so spread them out if you can. 5, 4, lats, belly. 3, a little bit of triceps, keeping the elbows long. 2, and then 1. Now cross the band like an X. Put your elbows very close to your rib cage and open up your forearms. So your dynaband, your elastic tubing handle will go with you. That way your wrists will stay neutral. Elbows by your side. This is external rotation. You're working the rear deltoid, the teres minor, the infraspinatus, really important for keeping the shoulders healthy. And you're tall. Good. All right. We're going to take 5 more of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Nice job. Let's get back up. I'm gonna have you stand up without using your hands. You notice I'm getting on and off the floor a lot. Good. So if you have to touch, count how many times you have to touch, and that will get better. Good. You wanna be able to get off and on the ground without using your hands. Perfect. Go up. Good. And now this is not a strength exercise. This is a mobility exercise. This is one of my favorites, actually. So you have your hands pretty wide. Notice the elbows are long. You don't feel like you have to contort your body to make this happen. And then inhale and exhale. That should feel amazing. This is a ball and socket joint. It wants to be moved this way. So now we're going to do 3 different placements because there's 3 different pec attachments. So here's one of them up here at a Y. Lift your heart. This is so good for posture. It's like you've walked through a door and you caught your hands on the door jamb. You can actually do this at a door jamb if you want. Now lower your hands. Feels a little different, but it feels amazing. Good. This helps prevent low back problems as well, because when the upper back's rounded and forward, the low back has to make up for it. So this helps with the upper back, the lower back, the shoulders. Now try one more angle lower. So good. You could do this stretch every day just because our life is so forward that it would be great to counter the forward motion of living. Doesn't that feel so good? Let that go, shake it out. Grab a sip. We're going to grab some hand weights, and we're going to do a lateral raise. So you could grab a weight that's somewhere between, and you can also do this with your dynaband again. You can do this with your dynaband if you don't have hand weights, but we're going to go out like a letter T. And you want to feel like there's a little bit of an abdominal pull in when you're doing this. So you can do this with your dynabands, or you could do this with your hand weights. You know, I like to offer different tools. You could do it with bags of flour, really. Your muscles just need the resistance that's more than they're used to. You do it with a rock in each hand if you wanted. Good. See if you can notice, are both arms the same? Your neck is not involved too much, just a little lift through the neck. If you find that it's too hard, you can just get another weight and finish out the set. So together we'll do about 5 more here. That a girl. 4 and 3. Good. I'm going to resist gravity a little bit. 2. That a girl. Yep. And 1. Nice job. Let's lower those down to the floor, and we're going to do a stretch that's really good for the posture. Half moon, 1 foot crosses. So let's say it's right foot, right arm over. Now direct your breath to this rib cage. It's called 1 lung breathing. Add a rotation down, and you'll feel a little bit more for your QL, your low back. And then open up towards the sky, and again, send your breath to that rib cage. You can direct your breath to the rib cage. That's more oblique, so that helps you if you have forward posture. Go up, go over, and I'm going to cross the left foot, so if you can, cross the left foot over. Now breathe into this rib cage. This is so good for the back. And then rotate down. You will feel a little bit more rear deltoid range back. This is one of the ways your back wants to be in every day, lateral flexion. This is a stretch you could sneak in your day. And then open up. After a drive, after a long drive, this would be a good one. So you feel your obliques. And then gently come back. Nice job. So I'm going to have us do an overhead press with a bicep curl. It's going to be a little bit of a pattern, so it's going to look like this. Michelle, if you're avoiding your overhead press with your shoulders, maybe just stick with the biceps here. So what we'll do is a hammer curl just to change it up. But if your wrist or your elbow has something going on, you could always do a supination, which is like a piece, like a cup of soup's in your hand. So we're gonna just bend. Now when you go overhead here or in life, the ribs might tend to poke forward and the low back might tend to get more lordotic. So what you'll do is when your arms are overhead, you have a little bit of extra ab tone and awareness so that your low back doesn't get lordotic when you go overhead. So that your low back doesn't get any more curved. Good. And when you go up, you won't feel any extra neck tension. Good. And it's okay if you want to use your dynaband and do a different exercise. So I just break it up. Good. So can you feel how if you lifted your arms overhead and you weren't paying attention, your low back would kind of get more lordotic, or your ribs would poke forward, or your tush would come out? So just part of the exercise isn't just the muscle we're working, but for the body awareness to keep some stability. And that way when we're doing a chore in life, our brain remembers the cues. Good. All right, last 5. You got it. Both feet feel even. 4. Good. Last 3. That's it. That's a way to do it, Michelle. Good. 2. 1 more. Nice. And then lower down. Terrific. Let that go. We're going to take a stretch called cow face with a balance pose. So 2 things are going to happen. Lift and spread your toes, and then see if you can put your foot on your calf or your foot or your inner thigh. So you choose. That's tree. This is for balance. And then if you can add on, clasp your 4 fingers together behind you, or hold onto your shirt or your dynaband and pretend you're up against a wall. So one-legged balance is helpful for glute medius strength, which helps the back and also helps prevent falls. 5, 4, good. That's it. 3, 2. Now you're going to try to do a dynamic change. So let your hands go to your heart. Let your foot come down. Samasthiti is just a homeostasis. Lift and spread your toes. Take the other foot up. Now beginner could be down here, calf or inner thigh. Your hips are level, and then if you're adding on, you could tricep stretch and hold, and then the arm behind you. Good. Try again, Jean. You got it. Now that full breath. 10. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. 2. This is a great stretch to prevent rounded shoulders. 5, 4, 3, and that glute medius, we need it for back care and we need it for balance. 2. Now, without moving your feet, see if you can slide your hands into home base and then lower your foot down. Nice job. So we'll do knocking on the door of life. It's just a great release of tension. Your arms hit you. If you can imagine how clothes are on a windy day when they're hanging on the line, it's kind of like your arms are loose sleeves. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then grab a sip, and let's do a little bit for the deltoids front. Now, so you might need 3 to 10 or something like that, or 3 to 8. So I'm going to change this one a little bit. The first one is 10 reps for forward. Notice your wrists are neutral. You want them to feel safe. You want to feel like, okay, even though my body's trying to lean back, I'm not going to. This can be done with a dynaband too if you don't have the hand weights or you just are preferring to use your elastic tubing. That a girl. I'm getting ready to sneeze. After that limit. Excuse me. And then one at a time. One at a time. So front raise. Now this is also anti-rotational. So you could tell your body would be tempted to do some accessory compensatory movements, but what we're doing is keeping the tone on our abs so it doesn't. So these little muscles in your torso are firing to maintain your stability. All right, let's do 6 more. So 6, good. 5, 4, 3, 2, good. And then 1. Nice job. Let that go for a moment. And let's grab a sip. We're going to do a chest press next. So I'm going to show you a different way to get down. Please listen to your body. But you could put the feet together and you can lower, lower, lower. And then very carefully, shins forward, feet down. And if you feel like you can add on, lift up your hips and then come down. Nice job. So now we're going to do a chest press. The opportunity, if you need a modification, is to do push-ups on the wall. But I'll show you what the move is before I grab the weights. It's going to look like this. So you'll be lying down, feet on the floor. It's going to be a heavier weight. So I would say at the minimum 5 to 12 maybe, 5 to 15, somewhere in there. Your feet are on the floor. And remember, if you need a backup plane, you can do a chest press, or if you need a backup plane with your dynaband, you can put the band behind your back and you can push forward with neutral wrist. So Cole, if that one feels better on your wrist to do the dynaband, go for it, or the elastic tubing like that behind your back. Otherwise, you're going to push up and keep going. I'm just going to talk for a little bit. Let your exhale help you push the weight up. And notice your ribs, they're on the mat. The feet on the floor helps your ribs be on the mat. If you feel like there's a temptation to kind of lift your ribs, that's what the feet on the floor helps. And then just pretend there's a Velcro on your ribs, keeping the ribs down, but you're not slamming them down to the floor. Your low back isn't slammed down to the floor. It's just connected like a little piece of Velcro's on your lower ribs, with a little bit of ab tone. And we all have different things going on with our body. So you might feel like the humerus is 45 degrees away from your ribs, but you might also have an old injury you're working around and you need to do something different for you. So maybe you need to do it closer as a modification. Up, good. So even though you're lifting your arms up, you're leaving your ribs down on the mat. Try 5 more. Try 4 more. Try 3 more, and just by pulling your belly in with the exhale, you're helping your core muscles, your back. 2, 1 more. Just by breathing deeply, you're helping your pelvic floor. Now I'm gonna let those hand weights go out of the way for a moment, so there's plenty of room to take a full body stretch. Shift one hip past the other, shift one leg past the other, not from the knees, but from the waist. That's a QL movement. 5. Hi, little girls. 4. Hi. 3, 2, inhale, and then we're gonna come up to get this, to the feet. You're gonna be doing one that looks like this, an anterior fly, so you might need a slightly less weight or the same to do this. And Cole, if your wrist bothers you, you can also wrap the band around your back and do the chest that way. Another modification would be, so it's like you're hugging a sequoia tree, a big redwood. You're opening up your arms, hugging. And when you open up your arms, you've got a circle of your elbow and your shoulder and your wrist. You're not letting your elbows go backwards towards the floor. Your hand weights are not touching the floor. You're just hugging. You're opening up to hug a tree and then closing. The weights touch at the top. Breathe in. Feet are on the floor. Inhale, good. And open. All right. So about 20 of these, so about 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. And then gently come up. Nice. How's everybody doing? Grab a sip. I'm going to do just a couple of things here that are your body. So the next one's going to be push-ups. You can do these on the wall as a modification where it would look like this. You can do them on your hands and knees like a square. You can do them on your hands and knees. When I say knees, I mean flesh above the knees, or you can do them on your hands and toes. For our purposes, I'm going to have us keep the elbows in close to the ribs. The shoulder blades are down the back. So for our purposes, we're gonna bend to about 90 degrees and push up. I know a few of you have shoulder issues, so I'm not gonna have you go chest to the floor like a CrossFit class. We're gonna do elbows in. We're gonna do high benefit, low risk. Keep your head in line, it's not drooping to the floor. Your low back's not drooping to the floor. You have intention through your legs. Good thing about push-ups, you can do them anywhere when you're traveling. Take about 5 more here. You want to feel your abs helping you. So it's an integrated, coordinated move. That's one reason resistance training helps the brain so much. 2, 1 more. And a child's pose here. Nice job. And then have a seat however you want. And then just take the arms out and add a rotation. Upper back focus. And then open the arms and add an upper back rotation. All these stretches are great for your back, for your posture. You feel how the exhales will micro-rotate you. And we're going to go up and over, lateral flexion. So one way to do this is one hand on the floor, but another way to do this is hand on your knee. So find what's going to work best for you. You're as young as your spine, is a saying in yoga. So we want to care for the spine a little bit every day, or a lot, but at least a little bit. And then add a rotation down. And then add a rotation up. Full breath. Go up. It's like you're going over a fence, go over. Now your breath is going to this rib cage. Add a little rotation down. See if you can lengthen the inhale. See if you can lengthen the exhale. It's biofeedback, you're getting control over your biology, so you're slowing down your breath. Rotation up. Inhale, come up. And then this one's called the rack, feet forward. One arm up and around. One arm up and around. And then lift your heart. You're barely on your wrist. It's an inside job. Lift up, 5. And then sit however you want. So whatever's comfortable. I'm just going to sit kneeling and we'll take a big inhale up. Full breath, belly, ribs, heart. Exhale. That's called Dirga, or 3-part breath. Inhale through the nose, belly, ribs, apex of the lungs. When you deeply breathe, you give some blood flow to the lower, the diaphragm attaches on the lower back. So when you use your breath fully like that, you're helping your low back during the day. So we'll just take a moment, hands together at the heart. Notice how well you feel, how radiant you feel. You deserve to feel radiant wellness in the body, mind, and spirit. Today I intend to stay closely connected to that feeling of radiant wellness and spread joy wherever I go with so much appreciation. Thank you guys so much.